Have you ever begged life to stop shaking and then felt ashamed because you still felt afraid? Have you ever wondered why some people seem protected, even when nothing outside looks easy? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about tarot practice in a way that fits an English-speaking audience into modern life. Not as a superstition, not as a debate that never ends, but as a living training that touches fear, touches habit, touches karma, touches compassion, and then quietly changes destiny from the inside out. Here are the two main ideas I want you to hold close while we go through the story. First, protection is not only about removing storms. Protection is also about keeping your mind from turning a storm into a collapse. Because the fastest way to ruin your future is not always the event. It is the reaction that follows the event. Second, the deepest power of tarot practice is not that it gives you a perfect life. The deepest power is that it trains courage and compassion in the exact moments when fear wants to hijack you. And when courage and compassion become your default, your destiny becomes brighter because your causes become cleaner. Now let me tell you a long story. And I want you to listen like it is your story, because in a way it is. This is the kind of story that shows up in thousands of lives. Only the names change, the jobs change, the city changes, but the mind pattern is the same. I will call her Lena. Lena grew up with a quiet kind of instability. Nothing that makes headlines, nothing that would make strangers gasp, but enough that her nervous system learned a lesson early. If you do not control everything, something bad will happen. Her father was unpredictable, sometimes kind, sometimes distant, sometimes angry. Her mother carried stress like a second skin. Love was present, but it was mixed with tension. And that mixture does something to a young mind. It teaches you that safety is always temporary, that you have to earn calm, that you have to perform well to keep peace in the room. So Lena became a high performer. She became the responsible one, the one who anticipates, the one who plans, the one who does not need help, the one who looks strong. By the time she was an adult, people described her as capable, disciplined, reliable. She built a career. She paid bills. She kept promises. She looked stable. But inside, her mind never fully rested. If the phone rang late at night, her chest would tighten before she even answered. If an email arrived with a short subject line, her stomach would drop. If someone sounded cold in a message, she would replay it for hours. If a loved one seemed quiet, she would imagine the worst. If she made one mistake at work, she would punish herself for days. This is what fear does. Fear takes ordinary life and turns it into a constant threat scan. And the strange part is that fear can live inside success. Fear does not care how talented you are. Fear does not care how much money you make. Fear does not care how much praise you receive. Fear only asks one question: can I control what happens next? And when the answer is no, fear gets louder. Then one year, life delivered a turning point. Her aunt became ill. Not a minor issue, not a quick fix, something serious. Doctor's appointments, tests, waiting rooms, phone calls, and the kind of uncertainty that makes a control-minded person feel like the ground has disappeared. Lena tried to stay rational. She tried to schedule everything. She tried to research every option. She tried to manage every conversation. She tried to keep her family calm by acting calm. But, in private, she started unraveling. At night she could not sleep. Her mind played disaster movies. Her heart raced. Her breathing became shallow. Her body felt like it was carrying electricity. And in the morning she would get up and continue functioning. Because that is what she had trained herself to do. Function no matter what. But function is not the same as peace. One evening she sat alone in her apartment and realized something. I am not okay. And that was a frightening truth to admit because her identity was built around being okay. She called a friend, an older friend who had a different energy. Less dramatic, less anxious, more steady. The kind of person whose presence slows the room down. Lena asked her. What do you do when you cannot control anything? The friend did not give a motivational speech. She said something very simple. I practice returning. Lena asked. Returning to what? The friend said. Returning to breath. Returning to clarity. Returning to compassion. Returning to the vow to not harm. Returning to the part of you that can witness fear without obeying it. Then the friend mentioned Tara practice. Lena had heard the word before, but only as a cultural reference. She did not grow up with devotion. She did not have a habit of prayer. She was not against it. She just did not know where to place it in her life. So the friend explained it in a way that fit Lena. She said, Tara is often described as swift help. But do not think of swift help only as external miracles. Swift help can be inner rescue. The rescue from your own spiral. The rescue from your own harsh speech. The rescue from the decision you make at midnight when you are panicking. The rescue from the impulse that creates more suffering tomorrow. Then she added, if you are willing, try a short daily practice. Not because it will erase your problems, but because it can train you to meet problems without collapsing. Lena was skeptical, but she was also exhausted. And exhausted people are sometimes more honest than confident people, because exhaustion shows you that your old strategy is not working. So she tried. That first night, she lit no candles. She did no performance. She sat on a chair. She put her phone face down. She took a breath, and she felt awkward. Her mind attacked immediately. This is silly. This cannot change anything. You are wasting time. You should be researching doctors. You should be solving the problem. You should be doing something useful. This is the voice of control. It believes rest is danger. It believes softness is weakness. It believes devotion is childish. It believes anything not measurable is useless. But Lena remembered what her friend said. When fear is in the body, the mind will resist anything that asks it to soften. So she did not argue. She did not try to defeat the mind. She simply returned. She breathed. She repeated a simple phrase slowly. She let the sound become an anchor. She did not ask for fireworks. She did not demand instant calm. She asked for one thing. Let me return. After several minutes, something shifted. Not a miracle. Not a sudden enlightenment. But her shoulders dropped a little. Her breath deepened a little. Her eyes softened. And for a brief moment, the fear did not disappear, but it became less absolute. That moment matters. Because most suffering is not the feeling of fear. It is the belief that fear owns you. When you discover even a small space where fear is present but you are still here, still breathing, still witnessing, you start to understand the first taste of freedom. Lena practiced again the next day, and the next. Some sessions felt calm. Some felt restless. Some felt numb. Some felt emotional. She kept it simple, consistent, gentle. She was training, not bargaining. Then something deeper started to happen over the following weeks. And this is where the story becomes real for you too. Because this is where practice begins to change destiny. The first change was not mystical. It was behavioral. Lena noticed she paused more often before responding. Before, if a family member sent a stressed message, she would respond instantly, trying to fix, trying to control, trying to force certainty. And her tone would sometimes become sharp because control always comes with pressure. Now, she would take one breath before replying. And that breath changed the content of her reply. Instead of "I will handle everything," she would write, "Tell me what you need right now." Instead of "Stop worrying," she would write, "I hear you. I am here." Instead of "Let me research everything," she would write, "Let us take the next step together." These are small changes. But small changes create a different chain of consequences. Because when you speak from control, people feel managed. They feel judged. They feel pushed. And they either resist you or collapse into dependence. Both outcomes create more stress. When you speak from calm presence, people feel supported. They feel seen. They feel less alone. And that reduces chaos in the system. That is karma in action. Karma is not only a mystical law. It is also the practical law of cause and effect inside relationships and choices. The second change was emotional. Lena began to cry sometimes during practice. Not dramatic sobbing. Quiet tears, like the body releasing a pressure it had carried for years. And she realized something surprising. She had not only been afraid about her aunt, she had been afraid for a lifetime. Her aunt's illness was the trigger. But the root was older. The root was the belief that life is unsafe and I must control everything, or I will be destroyed. When she saw this, compassion for herself began to grow. And compassion is medicine. Because without compassion, practice becomes another form of punishment. She began to speak to herself differently. Instead of "you should be stronger," she would say, "You are scared. And you are still here." Instead of "why are you like this," she would say, "Of course you learned this. You were trying to survive." Instead of "stop feeling," she would say, "Let the feeling move. I will not abandon you." This is a very important point. If you want your destiny to brighten, you must stop treating your own mind like an enemy. Because inner war spills outward. Inner war leaks into speech, leaks into relationships, leaks into decisions. And those leaks create suffering. The third change was ethical. And this is where many people misunderstand devotion. They think devotion is only about asking. But real devotion becomes a vow. One night after practice, Lena sat quietly and asked herself, "If I receive support, what will I do with it?" This is the moment devotion matures. Because when you pray only to get, you stay in a small self. Fear stays large. Greed stays active. Disappointment stays close. When you pray to become wiser, to become kinder, to become less harmful, the heart expands. And when the heart expands, fear shrinks. Lena began to end her sessions with a simple vow. May I meet this situation with wisdom. May I reduce harm in my speech. May I become a stable presence for others. May I transform fear into compassion. May I use whatever strength I have to benefit. Notice what this vow does. It turns practice into direction. And direction is power. A direction of the heart becomes your compass in chaos. Without a compass, you run in circles. Now the story moves to a moment that made Lena finally understand why people talk about swift rescue. One night, her family called and said the hospital situation had changed. There were complications. The voice on the phone was shaky. Fear rose in Lena like a wave. Her hands went cold. Her mind started the disaster film. In the past, she would have reacted in one of two ways. Either she would become frantic and controlling, pushing everyone, rushing, shouting, driving too fast, making chaotic decisions. Or she would freeze and shut down. Go numb, avoid, scroll, dissociate, then collapse later. That night, something else happened. Before she could decide, her mouth quietly formed the phrase she had been practicing. Not loudly, not as a show, as a reflex, as an anchor. She took one breath, then another. Then she felt her feet on the floor. The fear did not disappear, but it stopped expanding into panic. And because it stopped expanding, she could think. She asked practical questions. She listened. She moved quickly but without hysteria. She drove carefully. She arrived. She held her aunt's hand. She spoke gently. She supported her mother. Later she said something that matters for you. I did not feel rescued from the event. I felt rescued from becoming the kind of person who would make the event worse. That is swift rescue. It is the rescue from the moment when fear wants to turn you into a weapon. And if you want to understand how destiny brightens, this is it. Destiny brightens because your worst consequences often come from your worst moments of reaction. A single angry message can destroy a relationship. A single impulsive decision can ruin financial stability. A single night of desperate behavior can create years of regret. A single cruel sentence can scar a child. A single act of panic can become a karmic seed that keeps sprouting. If practice gives you a pause before those moments, it changes the whole path. Now, let us go deeper than the story, because some of you are listening and thinking, okay, this sounds like Mittenfolsen. Why attach it to Terra? That is a fair question, and here is the grounded answer. Symbols matter. Names matter. Images matter. Not because they are magical toys, but because the mind learns through meaning. When you hold Terra as an embodiment of awakened compassion, you are not only training attention, you are training intention. You are training your heart to remember compassion when fear tries to make you selfish. This is crucial. Many people can calm down, but calm without compassion can become cold avoidance. Calm without compassion can become spiritual bypass. Calm without compassion can become a private comfort that ignores others. Terra practice at its best ties calm to compassion. It teaches you that the highest protection is not selfish. The highest protection is the protection of all beings. Because when you care for all beings, you stop being trapped in the small prison of me. And the small prison of me is where fear thrives. Now I want to give you a second story. Different person, different life, same teaching. Because one story is inspiring. Two stories start to build trust. I will call him Marcus. Marcus was a first responder. He had seen accidents. He had seen loss. He had seen the ways a single second changes a life. He looked brave. People thanked him. But inside, he carried invisible weight. He had nightmares. He had sudden flashes of images. He had a temper that scared him. He drank more than he wanted to admit. He kept his pain private because he believed pain equals weakness. Then one day, a close friend died suddenly. Marcus attended the funeral and felt nothing. No tears, no sadness, just numb. And later that night, the numbness cracked into rage. Rage at life, rage at fate, rage at unfairness. He punched a wall. His hand bled. He stared at the blood and felt ashamed. He thought, I help people all day. Why can I not help myself? A co-worker suggested a simple practice connected to compassion. Marcus was not interested in religion, but he was interested in survival. So he tried. At first he felt stupid. The words felt foreign. But something in him needed a way to hold pain without self-destruction. So he practiced for a few minutes each day. Not to become spiritual, but to learn how to not explode. After a few weeks, something shifted. He still felt anger, but he stopped feeding it with alcohol. He began to notice the first spark of anger, the first heat, the first tightening in the jaw. And he would return to breath, return to the phrase, return to the image of compassion. It did not make him soft in a weak way. It made him strong in a clean way. He also started doing something that surprised him. He began to dedicate the practice for others, for victims he had seen, for families, for co-workers, for people living in fear. The dedication changed him. Because when you dedicate your heart beyond yourself, your pain becomes meaningful. And meaningful pain is easier to carry than meaningless pain. Over time, his drinking reduced. His sleep improved. He apologized to his partner for his emotional distance. He began therapy. He stopped isolating. He became more human. Was that destiny brightening? Yes, because destiny is not only external events. Destiny is the quality of your inner life. And the quality of your inner life shapes every relationship and choice you make. Now let us talk about the 4 ways people misunderstand this practice. And I will do it through storytelling and examples. Not through a list, because I want you to feel it, not just understand it. The first misunderstanding is treating practice like a transaction. People do a short session and then immediately check the universe like a bank account. I practiced. Where is my reward? I prayed. Why is my life still hard? I asked for protection. Why did something still go wrong? If you practice with that mentality, you will feel disappointed often, because life is not a vending machine. The deeper truth is that practice is training. Training changes you gradually. And then you respond differently. And those responses create different consequences over time. The second misunderstanding is using devotion to avoid responsibility. Some people pray and then refuse to act. They say, Tara will handle it. They say, the universe will fix it. They say, I have faith so I do not need to do anything. That is not real. Real practice combines inner reliance with outer responsibility. Lena still called doctors. She still asked questions. She still helped with logistics. She still took care of family. The practice stabilized her mind so she could act wisely. Devotion without responsibility becomes fantasy. Responsibility without devotion can become harsh control. Together, they become balanced strength. The third misunderstanding is using practice to suppress emotions. If you chant to force yourself to feel calm, you may end up creating a pressure cooker inside, because you are not transforming fear. You are hiding fear. Real practice allows fear to be seen, and then held with compassion, and then guided by wisdom. The fourth misunderstanding is turning devotion into identity. Some people use it to feel special. They look down on others. They argue. They perform. They become proud. But pride blocks compassion, and compassion is the whole point. If you want destiny to brighten, humility is essential. Humility keeps the heart open. Open heart receives support. Open heart gives support. That network of giving and receiving becomes protection in real life. Now, I want to bring in the idea of karma in a practical way, because this is the core of why destiny changes. Karma is not only what happens to you. Karma is also what you do next. Every time fear rises, there is a fork in the road. One fork is panic. Panic produces harsh speech. Harsh speech produces conflict. Conflict produces isolation. Isolation produces more fear. The other fork is return. Return produces calmer speech. Calmer speech produces trust. Trust produces support. Support produces resilience. Resilience produces less fear. This is why a small practice can lead to a large life change, because it changes the fork point. If you want to see this in your own life, look at your recent conflicts. Ask yourself, what was the first moment the emotion rose? What did I do at that moment? Did I pause? Did I breathe? Did I return? Or did I react? Most people react. Practice trains pause. Pause is power. Now, I want you to imagine a situation. Maybe you have lived it. You receive a message that triggers you. Maybe it is criticism. Maybe it is rejection. Maybe it is a short, cold sentence. Your body tightens. Your mind starts building a story. They do not respect me. They are abandoning me. They are attacking me. If you respond immediately, you will often respond from the story, not from truth. If you pause, breathe, return, you can see the story as story. You can choose a wiser response. That is protection. That is the kind of protection that prevents years of regret. This is why some practitioners say protection is not only from external enemies. It is protection from inner enemies. Inner enemies are not demons outside. They are habits inside. Greed, pride, jealousy, fear. These habits can ruin your life faster than bad luck. Now, let us talk about compassion as the engine. Because if you miss this, the whole teaching becomes shallow. Compassion is not just being nice. Compassion is the courage to stay open without being naive. Compassion is the strength to respond with dignity. Compassion is the willingness to reduce harm. Compassion is the intention to benefit. When Tara is held as compassion, the practice becomes a daily reminder. A reminder that even in fear, you can choose kindness. Even in uncertainty, you can choose honesty. Even in conflict, You can choose restraint. Even in pain, you can choose to not pass pain forward. Not passing pain forward is one of the most powerful karmic actions a human being can take. Because pain that is passed forward becomes generations of suffering. Pain that is transformed becomes generations of healing. This is where destiny becomes bigger than one lifetime. Because your choices affect others, and their choices affect others, and so on. Now I want to share a quiet teaching that fits an English audience. And I will say it in plain words. You do not need to believe in something to practice it. You need to practice it to discover what it does to your mind. If an image of compassion helps you remember compassion, it is useful. If a mantra helps you return to breath and kindness, it is useful. If devotion helps you release control and soften the heart, it is useful. The test is not argument. The test is effect. Does it make you less reactive? Does it make you more honest? Does it make you more compassionate? Does it make you more steady in crisis? Does it make you less harmful? If yes, then your destiny is already brightening. Now, I want to spend time on the idea of fear. Because many people watch videos like this because they are tired of fear. Fear can be obvious. Panic attacks, insomnia, shaking. Fear can also be subtle. Controlling behavior, perfectionism, people-pleasing. Some people do not feel fear as fear. They feel fear as busy. They keep moving because stillness would reveal the trembling inside. They keep talking because silence would expose loneliness. They keep solving because not solving would expose helplessness. Practice invites you to stop running. When you stop running, you feel more at first, and that can scare you. This is why you need compassion. Compassion is the gentle hand that allows you to face what you avoided. Terra as compassion means you are not facing fear alone. Even if you are sitting alone in a room, your intention connects you to something bigger than your small story, bigger than your small identity. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, how do I actually do this in my daily life? I will not give you a rigid program, because rigid programs often turn into pressure, and pressure is not the point. Instead, I will describe a simple rhythm you can adapt. You choose a time, morning or night. You sit comfortably. You breathe slowly. You repeat a compassionate phrase slowly. When the mind wanders, you return without scolding. You end by wishing well for others. Then you carry the spirit into one action that reduces harm. That is enough. Practice is not about doing 1,000 things. Practice is about doing one thing consistently with sincerity. Now I want to bring back Lena for a final part of her story, because there is something important that happened later. Her aunt recovered partially, not perfect, but stable enough to go home. The family felt relief, but life did not become perfect. New problems appeared. Finances, stress, relationships, and Lena noticed something. The practice did not remove problem. It changed her relationship with problems. Before, she believed every problem was a threat to her identity. Now, she saw problems as condition. Conditions change. She can meet conditions with a steady heart. This is the wisdom of impermanence. And impermanence is not depressing. It is freeing. If conditions change, then fear is not final. If conditions change, then despair is not truth. If conditions change, then you can plant new causes. If you plant new causes, you can harvest new outcome. This is how destiny brightens. Not by wishing the world to freeze into safety, but by training the heart to meet change with wisdom and compassion. Then one day, Lena experienced a different kind of crisis, a relationship conflict. A close friend accused her of being distant. The friend said Lena had become emotionally unavailable. Lena felt attacked. Her old pattern rose. Defend. Control. Prove you are right. She felt the heat in her face. She felt the urge to cut the friend with sharp words. Then she paused. She remembered compassion. She remembered return. She said, I hear you, I have been under stress. I did not realize I was withdrawing. I am sorry. Tell me more. The friend softened. Tears came. The conflict became connection. If Lena had reacted with defense, the friendship might have ended. The karmic seed would be separation, loneliness, bitterness. Because she paused, the seed became repair, trust, closeness. That is destiny brightening in real time. Now I want to speak directly to you, because there is a part of you that may not trust this. You might think, I have tried so many things. I am still afraid. I still suffer. Why would this help? I will answer honestly. It may not fix everything quickly, but it can change the direction. And direction matters more than speed. If you are heading toward a cliff, speed is not your friend. If you are heading toward a safer road, even slow progress is life-saving. This practice is about direction. Direction toward compassion. Direction toward clarity. Direction toward wise speech. Direction toward less harm. Direction toward courage. Now, I want to offer a final reflection that many people need. Sometimes you want protection because you think you are weak, but the truth is you are tired. And tired people need gentleness, not more pressure, not more self-blame. Gentleness. Compassion practices gentleness with direction. It says, I will be kind to myself, and I will keep walking. I will be honest about fear, and I will not obey it. I will face uncertainty, and I will choose wise action. I will not pass pain forward. I will cultivate patience. I will cultivate courage. When you live like this, your life becomes brighter. Not because the sky is always clear, but because you become a lamp. And a lamp changes a room. Thank you for staying with me through this long story and teaching. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments, share what you believe you need protection from right now. Is it an external situation? Is it fear? Is it anger? Is it a habit that keeps harming you? Share your story as honestly as you can, because your honesty might be the exact encouragement another person needs tonight. If you want more long-form videos like this, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment to support the work. Your support helps this content reach people who are quietly suffering and looking for a path. Until next time, keep returning, keep breathing, keep choosing compassion. That is how destiny brightens.
Life gets noisy. Work, stress, expectations. Sometimes we lose touch with the quiet part of ourselves. Bracelet isn't just an accessory. It's a small reminder that you deserve peace. You deserve moments of stillness. You deserve to hold on to your inner balance. If one of these bracelets speaks to your heart, you'll find the purchase link in the description below. And even more auctions available on our channel's shop page. Pick home the one that feels right.